It just exploded in Buffalo. Get ready, fans. This could be the most intense season in years. Behind the scenes are heating up, huge decisions are being made, and fundamental changes are shaping the future of the Bills, and you'll understand why every detail is important. But before you dive into this avalanche of news, subscribe to the channel and activate the bell, because what we have today are revelations that will impact the entire season. Let's go! The tension is over, and the Bills Mafia can finally celebrate. Buffalo has officially signed rookie defensive tackle TJ Sanders to a 4-year contract, ending one of the longest impasses of this offseason. After weeks of dramatic negotiations that saw several second-round picks across the league hold out, the Bills made it happen. Sanders, the 41st overall pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, signed his contract on Friday night, July 17th. What a deal! A total of $10.65 million over 4 years, with $10.73 million guaranteed. That's no small feat. It's a massive financial commitment, especially for a second-round pick, and it signals a shift in how contractual terms are being structured across the league. Why all the fuss? The Houston Texans sparked a league-wide movement when they gave wide receiver Jaden Higgins, the 33rd overall pick, a fully guaranteed deal. This paved the way for other second-round picks like Sanders to seek similar treatment. Traditionally, only first-round picks have been fully guaranteed, but now it's a new era. This offseason has been defined by second-round picks standing their ground and demanding more security, and they're getting it. Sanders was one of 6 second-round picks to go on the market on Friday alone. With the start of training camp approaching, urgency took over and the pieces of dominance fell apart, and the timing couldn't be better. With Sanders under contract, the Bills' entire 2025 draft class is signed, sealed, and ready to report to St. John Fisher University on July 22 for training camp. There's no more uncertainty, no distractions, just pure focus, and all eyes are now on what comes next in training camp. And speaking of what's next, one question remains: will this revamped Bills defense live up to expectation? That's where things get even more interesting. With all the talent accumulated on the Buffalo Bills roster, from a superstar quarterback to a young and dangerous receiving core and a revamped defense, one question continues to haunt the franchise heading into 2025. Will this season finally get to the quarterback when it matters most? Because if the answer is no, the dream of hoisting the Lombardi Trophy may remain just that, a dream. The numbers don't lie. In 4 of the last 5 postseasons, the Bills have been eliminated for a while: the Kansas City Chiefs. And in almost every one of those losses, one man has stood firm in the pocket, destroying Buffalo's defense game after game: Patrick Mahomes. No sacks, no pressure, no answers. That's why this offseason has become a mission to change that once and for all. Enter Joey Bosa. When the Bills signed the former Chargers running back in free agency, it wasn't just a big move, it was a statement. A declaration that mediocrity in the trenches was no longer acceptable. Bosa, despite his recent injury history, brings an elite pedigree and a ferocious motor. He's not here just to fill a rotation, he's here to anchor a passing pressure that needs to evolve from average to elite and fast. But is that enough? That's where the concern comes in. According to Sports Illustrated's Carl Rasmussen, passing pressure remains the Bills' top concern heading into training camp. Buffalo's defensive line has suffered significant turnover. Yes, some veteran leaders are still on the team, but the reality is that this unit is full of new faces and lacking chemistry. With so many new players competing for snaps, Rasmussen wrote, the coaching staff may need more time to find the right combination, and that time could cost them early games. Buffalo doesn't have time to experiment. The AFC is loaded with top-tier quarterbacks: Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, and of course Mahomes. If the Bills want to win in January, they need to start winning in September, and that starts up front. Josh Allen, the reigning league MVP, can't win shootouts every week. He needs help. He needs his defense to get off the field, steal possessions, and change the pace. He needs a passing pressure that closes drives, not one that crumbles when the stakes are highest. This is more than just a football problem, it's an identity crisis. Can Buffalo transform from a skilled quarterback that wins on penalties to a hardened quarterback that intimidates opponents in the trenches? If Bosa returns to form and Greg Rousseau continues his upward trajectory, this transformation is possible. Add in the solid production of AJ Epinesa and the strong development of young guns like Javon Solomon and Paris Shand, and this passing pressure could quickly turn heads. But let's not take it for granted. The margin of error is slim. With a packed schedule and mounting pressure in the AFC, Buffalo doesn't just need to be good, it needs to be relentless. The defensive line needs to win games. Otherwise, the same postseason disappointment that defined this era could return again. And speaking of heartbreak, this year could be the last dance for this version of the Buffalo Bills. Why? Because a critical contract situation is at stake, one that could reshape the offense's identity and change this era for years to come. This leads us straight to the most explosive story of the summer. What's going on with James Cook? Is a big payday coming, or is Buffalo ready to move on? Let's analyze. For James Cook isn't just another player on the roster. He's the heart of the Bills' running game and a rising star entering the most critical year of his young NFL career. And now he's at a financial crossroads that could change not only his future in Buffalo, but also the direction of the franchise. Cook made it clear earlier this offseason he wants to be paid like a top-tier running back, somewhere around $15 million per year. That's bold. That's elite territory. And yet, Buffalo hasn't even picked up the phone to talk about the extension. So what does this tell us? It tells us the Bills are thinking like a front office preparing for chess, not checkers. Because while a long-term contract might seem like an obvious strategy to secure their star rusher, there's another powerful and calculated option at play: the franchise tag. According to the latest projections from Pro Football Network, the franchise tag value for running backs in 2026 is expected to be between 30. This doesn't quite reach the $15 million Cook is aiming for, but it's close enough to keep him happy and, more importantly, on the roster without giving up long-term guarantees. And for the Bills, it's the perfect protection. Why? Because Cook is at his peak, playing in one of the league's most dynamic offenses at a time when they're once again a legitimate Super Bowl contender. If he has another successful season, they'll get elite production at a short-term cost. If he suffers or gets injured, they'll walk away unscathed. No strings attached, no salary cap busting deals to undo. These are deals. Cold, calculated, and smart. But don't confuse strategy with security. A franchise tag can buy time, but it can also create tension. Cook knows its value. He's seen running backs across the league being passed over or underpaid. He knows time isn't always a friend in this league, especially for a position that tends to shine and fade quickly. The window of opportunity is short, and he wants his scholarship now. And here's where it gets even more personal. This could be his last season sharing the backfield with Josh Allen. Think about it. One of the NFL's most dangerous QB-RB duos could be facing their final journey together. Every snap in 2025, every touchdown, every screen pass Cook turns into ours could be a path to a swan song. If the Bills don't re-sign him or decide not to tag him next offseason, he could come calling again with a multi-year off. And just like that, one of Buffalo's most explosive weapons would disappear. But if they tag him and he does it again, the conversation changes. Suddenly, he's not just a Pro Bowl caliber running back, he's a cornerstone. So now, every yard matters. Every play is a statement. And it all begins in Week 1, under the spotlight of Sunday Night Football with the entire country on edge. Buffalo opens the season against Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens in what could be a defining game for the entire year. It's Cook against Lamar, Allen against former MVP, a new defense against one of the league's most elusive quarterbacks. There's no relaxing this season. There's no warming up. The spotlight is already blinding, and Cook has everything at stake: legacy, leverage, and millions. And with the front office watching closely, the fans rallying behind him, and playoff dreams once again on the table, James Cook is about to make his case. Will it end in a payday in Buffalo, or a farewell tour disguised as a last chance at glory? With TJ Sanders finally signed, pressure on quarterbacks being identified as their biggest weakness, and James Cook's future completely up in the air, could this be the Bills' last chance to win the Super Bowl with this roster? Or is there still a crucial piece missing to complete the puzzle? Leave your opinion here. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, but I'll be back later to update you with the latest Buffalo Bills.